I'm here with Liam Ryan, who I've known for quite a few years, in fact, best part of 7 years, when he restarted in property. He's a fantastic guy. He's a property investor, a coach, a guru, a mentor, an author, social media extraordinaire, and he's got a wealth of experience because he's failed or learned hard lessons. His business died, he started again, and now he's built a multi-million pound business. On top of that, he helps, guides, advises, directs a lot of people in the UK in terms of building property, building a business, and also how to make deals. Fantastic interview. Watch it and then leave me your feedback at the bottom. Leave us questions and I'll happily answer it. So Liam, what's happening for you right now in terms of business? Anything interesting you're working on?
You know what, we've got so much stuff going on at the moment. We've just had one of our busiest years. 2022 is just looking insane. A lot of what we've got going on at the moment is really developing and creating new partnerships. We're a property business and wealth training company, so offering different verticals out to our amazing community where we can teach them all lovely things about property and business and social media and sales and speaking. And then of course we've got our development stuff going on with the one and only Mr. Munoz, the Essex Colombian. So, you know, continuing to look for, you know, single lets, small scale developments, always on the hunt for raising more money. So there's never a dull day in my life. There is always something exciting going on, building the team, partnerships, raising money. So yeah, we're busy.
So a lot of people have challenges in terms of raising money. How do you go about in terms of raising more money for your deals? Because I know you've got quite a bit going on, but obviously you must need cash all the time.
Yeah.
And then you've got so many fantastic students who are probably asking you, how do we get more cash?
Yeah.
So what are your kind of secrets or tips or techniques for raising finance?
Cool. It's a great question. So, you know, when I got into the property world, doing it the right way, again, 6 years ago, I was in a position, I didn't have access to money. I just lost the business. I was in a bit of a dark place, you know, feeling sorry for myself. I knew I wanted to build a multi-million pound property portfolio, but I didn't have the funds to do it. And it's a really big block for a lot of people. However, there's more money in the world today than ever before. And one thing which you can do is use OPM, other people's money, private funders. They're sitting on a lot of cash right now. Maybe they've got money in stock shares, ISAs that are underperforming, you know, money under the bed. So how do you go and access this money? Well, a couple of really important points. Number one, you've got to position yourself as the property guy or the property girl. Make sure you got your branding on point, you know, your website, your social media platforms, and then really have a good deep understanding of how you can work with private funders. Are you going to do a savings accelerator loan agreement type product? Do you offer more of a joint venture 50-50? They put in the money, you do the work. So really digging deep on the service you offer, the unique selling points, practice talking to investors. So you can do that with friends and family members, your partners, and then start putting yourself out there and going on the hunt. Social media, networking events, charity events, friends, family members. And really the aim of the game in terms of raising money is get yourself in a pitching situation. If you've got a great deal, if you've got a great service where you can help people make more money, then you're doing people a disservice if you're not talking about it. It's about having confidence, having balls of steel, and also embracing rejection, because not every private funder is going to want to work with you, but the more people you sit with, the more chance you have of getting the money.
So basically anybody age over the 11 with a pulse, start talking to them about how you can get their money.
That's it.
And generally speaking, are you looking at the interest model, the JV model, or a bit of both?
Yeah, good question. So when I first started, my first ever private funder was Dave from Basildon.
Okay.
He was introduced to me from a good friend of mine called Will.
Okay.
I met him a couple of times at his social club in Basildon, and he was having his ham, egg and chips and his pint of Foster's. And I met him in a social club with like other, 60 other people that had sort of retired. And initially that was on a fixed rate return. It's only £5,000 at 10%, but it changed my complete mindset. My second investor, just a few weeks later, was an amazing lady who gave us £250,000, but that was on a 50-50 JV. So in the beginning of my journey as a property investor using other people's money, I typically did more 50-50s. Now, certainly for the last few years, we do more fixed rate return because we then get to own the asset 100%. We're not having to give away the equity, and we're also giving our customers a great return. Having said that, if I'm sitting with someone, because some private funders, they're not interested in 6, 8 or 10%, they're going to want an equity stake. I'm not going to say no to 50% of something is much better than 100% of nothing.
That makes sense. And when you started off, going back 6 years, what were some of the kind of big challenges you faced at the time? Because there's be some people who are listening right now who are just starting off or are about to start, and they're not sure about their journey. So what advice can you give them in terms of the challenges you faced and how you overcame them?
Yeah, so knowledge is obviously a big challenge. There's many different ways to make money in property. There's so many different strategies: single lets, deal packaging, serviced accommodation, HMOs, commercial conversions, delayed with completion, lease options. There's a lot going on in the market right now. So one of the challenges for me at the start was getting focused, because reality is I wanted to do it all. And initially I tried to do like 4 or 5 strategies, and after about 6 weeks I ran out of steam. And I sat with my mentor and we said, look, what's important to us right now? And for me at that time, I wanted to own the assets, and I also wanted the cash flow. So then we started to get really drilled in on HMOs. We'd done 11 of those in the first year using none of our own money, and then we started to move into development. So some of the challenges is knowledge, concentration, confidence, and really drilling down on what's going to be that primary or secondary strategy.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, because people lack focus because they either read some books, go on YouTube, social media, some physical training, and then they want to do service accommodation and rent to rent and commercial conversions and new builds and be a deal packager and so on and so forth. And you'll know as well as anybody else, because you're into mindset. I'm going to cover that later on. If you try chasing 2 rabbits, you end up catching none. So you're absolutely right. Laser focus is incredibly important. And on that note, what's your most favorite strategy and why?
That's a good question, because I like them all. But for us as a business right now, we have done HMOs, and we're not going to do any more as it stands because we don't want to be oversaturated. So I still love the good old traditional buy-to-let model. If you want to own assets, buy below market value property, add the value, recycle your cash, get a great tenant in there long term, make sure it's tax efficient, and you can still be in at 3, 4, 5, if not £600 a month net profit on the right property without doing a lot of work. Having said that, rent to rent serviced accommodation is cooking on gas right now. But if we go back to what really also does work, solid property investing, good old buy-to-lets are still doing great.
Perfect. And I think having one clear strategy is important. You touched on a few minutes ago in terms of having a mentor. Who has been your most important professional mentor and why?
Good question. So when I got into property, just over 6 years ago, doing it the right way, we got a great mentor, me and Jay, a guy called Rob. So Rob was one of our mentors. He's still our mentor today. But actually over the last 6 years, I've now had many different mentors, because one of the quickest route to markets is the following: find the person or the people or the team doing the thing you want to do, pay them to go on maybe a course, pay them for their mentorship mastermind program, zap them with all their information, implement, and then move on. Some mentors you'll end up keeping for many years. Yeah. Other mentors, you might just have them for 6 months or 12 months and then move on. But Rob is one of my great mentors. Dylan's a great mentor of mine. Jessen is a great mentor of mine. John, James, I've had plenty. Every single mentor that I've invested in, because I've took the action, has taken my business to a new level.
Yeah, and you're right. I think mentors or even a coach can fast track you, because otherwise, if you make all the mistakes yourself, you're gonna run out of gas at some point, and it's gonna cost you a lot of money. Whereas obviously a good coach and a mentor is gonna help you fast track and is gonna avoid you making all those mistakes. Talking about mistakes, what's the biggest mistake you've made so far in your business, and what did you learn from it?
Good question.
And if it's more than one, by the way, because I've made loads of mistakes, Liam.
Yeah.
So if it's more than one, you can share 2 or 3.
Yeah. So, what we grew really fast in the first year, and then one of the mistakes is we completed on a property, and then we forgot to get the tenants to leave, and then it delayed us.
It did, yeah.
And that was just because we were growing too fast. So I suppose that's one of the mistakes is trying to grow too fast.
And what did you learn from that?
Slow down, build a team. So we got in a great PA at that point to manage the paperwork and the refinancing. Because if you've got 7, 8 deals going on at once, there's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of different structures. So sometimes less is more, and not everything's going to happen overnight. So that was certainly one of our biggest mistakes, was trying to grow too quick in that first year. We then learned that me and Jay couldn't do it all, so we wanted to obviously branch out and then start building a team.
Anything else apart from that?
Other mistakes that we've made, hiring too quick as well.
Okay.
Sometimes you hire someone, you sort of know they're not right, but because you need to hire that person, you hire them, and then you realise they're not the right fit. Yeah. So take your time in the hiring process. We're in the process now of hiring a new videographer. We've got a great videographer and camera guy called Tyler. He's been brilliant, been with me 3 years. But, we're going through this process of hiring someone else, and we're like 12 weeks in the process and we still haven't found the right person. But from learning from my mistake in year 1, we're not just going to hire anyone, we're going to take our time.
And it's hard right now, isn't it? I mean, I talk to people every single day, as you know, and everybody's struggling to find staff. From people who are up north. I've got a guy who runs a tutoring company, can't find tutors. I've got a lawyer friend of mine. He wants 6 lawyers to start straight away. 6. He's got a big firm.
Wow.
Can't find any.
Find them.
We're looking for accountants. Can't find any.
Wow.
I've got a cash and carry client. You're looking for HEV drivers. Can't find them for love nor money. It's mad.
Really painful right now. I don't know where everyone's gone, because we're like millions of people here in the UK, and I don't feel just sitting on their backsides, or they got 2 years to furlough, I think.
we gave them that Brexit pill that was going to sort all of our ills, Liam. But we're not going to talk about Brexit now, because we talked about it a lot over the last 5 years. So I promised myself we're moving on from Brexit. So we'll move away from property, because I know you're also good on mindset and obviously speaking, coaching, and you're also a deal maker. So we'll spend a better time on that. Every day you wake up, what makes you feel inspired to be your best?
Yeah, my family, my wife, my kids, Holly, my 4 beautiful kids, for sure. Every single morning, everything I do is for them, to give them a better quality of life, so we can do the things that we love and we enjoy. My team, love my team. It's my responsibility to drive the team forward. So I need to stay accountable to my team, and also the community. Everyone we have within the Dealmaker Assets for Life community. I've made a promise to that community to serve them, to deliver, to inspire them, to motivate them. So every morning I wake up, it doesn't feel like I'm going to work. It's like, I just get into combat zone and let's go.
Yeah, and I think that's important, isn't it? Especially obviously having a network around you, both in terms of your family, friends, work colleagues, who are there to support you, but obviously also keep you going.